Okay, good morning and welcome to Yeshiva YouTube Iyun Benzion. Today's daf is Nedarim daf Samach Gimel, number 63. If you listen to the regular shir, I basically gave you one of the greatest Iyun Benzion's to dates in the regular daf Yomi shir about when you're supposed to have Tashmish Hamita, Thursday night or Friday night. Spoiler alert, it's Thursday night, not Friday night, which the word is very clear. Erev Shabbos, Erev Shabbos. Doesn't say Leili Shabbos. Erev Shabbos is Thursday night, not Friday night. That's why they're masakin to have shum, garlic, on Friday night, because garlic makes your breath smell bad, and you don't have to be together with your wife, because you're not going to want to be together with your wife because both of your breaths smell. So it's going to inhibit you from being together, and that's why you could have rest for your nefesh. The problem is that Shabbos confuses us with an neshama yisera. And that's why we say at the end of Shabbos, Vayav the Nafesh. Not that we lost the Neshama Yisera. We're feeling bad about the fact that we got the Neshama Yisera, which is like a fire. It kindles in your heart to exert yourself, to eat more, to talk more, and not to relax on Shabbos. You're losing the Nefesh, which is your closest soul to your body, which is basically bodily needs, and it's to rest on Shabbos. The Neshama Yisera obfuscated the needs of your Nefesh. And that's why we say Vayav the Nafesh. When the Neshama Yisera leaves, we realize that we had a Neshama Yisera, and it ruined our Shabbos. A lot of people I always wonder why do I not enjoy Shabbos and Yom Tov the way I enjoy the regular week, and that's the reason. The Neshama Yisera, it's not a good thing; it's a bad thing. So that's basically what I said in Benzion. If you want to find out a little more detail, you can listen to the regular share. Today I want to talk about other Rishon, other Sheni. The Mishnah says, towards the bottom of Samach Gimel and Aleph, Konam Yayin Shani Toim Ad Rosh Adar, until the beginning of Adar, Ad Rosh Adar Rishon. Which Adar do you mean? The first Adar. Ad Sofa Adar Rishon. If you say the word Adar Stam in your neder, you mean Adar Rishon, even though it's a leap year, presumably we're talking about, where there's two Adars. You meant Adar Stam means the first Adar. If you want to specify Adar Sheni, you have to say Adar Sheni. Now, the Gemara says really it's a machlokas between Rabbi Yehuda and Rabbi Meir when it comes to shtaros. Rabbi Yehuda seems to indicate other rishon, like our Mishnah. Stam other is other rishon, right? And Rabbi Meir says no, stam other is other sheni, right? And the Gemara tries to resolve Rabbi Meir with our Mishnah, and it says that Rabbi Meir could also fit into our Mishnah. Really, other stam is other rishon. If you say other, you mean other rishon. Rabbi Meir, all he meant to say that stam other is other sheni. That's only when you know that's going to be an over year. You know you're privy to information. The basin has told you they're going to make an over year. Now we don't have that. We know which years are leap years or not. But it used to be that they decided, and they could decide in the middle of Adar. They could decide at the beginning of the winter already to make an over year. So if you're privy to that information, so then Rabbi Meir says, in that case, right, where you knew there's going to be other Rishon and other Sheni, in that case, Rabbi Meir says that Stam other is other Sheni. If you didn't know, then he would agree, like our Mishnah, that if you didn't know, or certainly in the case where if they decided to add an extra other in the middle of the other Rishon, right, where there's no way anyone could have known, so then Stam other is other Sheni, which makes a lot of sense because the Gemara in Megillah says that all the mitzvahs of Purim, most of the mitzvahs, you can only do during Adar Sheni, right? If you read the Megillah during Adar Rishon, you're not Yotzei if it's an Uber year. You're not Yotzei. It has to always be during Adar Sheni. So you see regular Adar, the main Adar Sheni. The problem is, the Gemara seems to imply that, according to Rabbi Yehuda at least, whether you know or you don't know, the main Adar is Adar Rishon. The Rosh in Maseches Megillah also seems to hold, even in the case where you would know the main Adar is Adar Rishon. This is problematic because the Gemara in Maseches Megillah on Daf Vavam and Beis is clear that Purim has to be done during Adar Sheni. So Purim has to be done during Adar, right? That was the date fixed for it, right? Yudalit and Tet Vav Adar. So it has to be done during Adar Sheni. If you did it during Adar Rishon, you're in Yotzei. A lot of the mitzvahs, the Parshtios also, according to a lot of opinions, you have to reread during Adar Sheni. So that's the main time. So how could anyone say, our Gemara is mashma, that when it comes to Nedarim and Shtaros, the main Adar is Adar Rishon, really. Right? So, I'm sorry, the Rosh actually says the Rush in Megillah of Avam Beis says when the year is extended before the first of Adar, the first Adar is like proceeding on the Shvat. That is the main Adar is the second one, right? So the Rush actually says, I'm sorry, like I meant to say that the second Adar is the main Adar, which makes a lot of sense if you knew it was a leap year before, which the Gemara seems to imply if you knew it was before, and so Stam Adar, right? That's only according to Rabbi Meir, but Rabbi Yehuda says, right? Adar Rishon Kosev Stam, Adar Sheni Kosev Tinyan. So Rabbi Yehuda seems to say, and normally when Meir and Rabbi Yehuda have a machlokas, we pass on to Rabbi Yehuda, right? And we're saying this whole brisa, Rabbi Meir and Rabbi Yehuda is talking about, right? When you know, when you don't know, right? You don't know that it's going to be, when you know, right? If you know there's going to be other, a second other, right? Then you write other stam others, other sheni. According to Rabbi Meir, according to Rabbi Yehuda, even if you know, that's what we're talking about. This brisa, right? The main other is other rishon according to Rabbi Yehuda. We possibly Rabbi Yehuda. So how could it be? We possibly Rabbi Yehuda. We're talking about the brisa. Talking about you knew there's another sheni. So how could it be the main other is other rishon? You're not yotzei in the mitzvahs of Purim on it. So to answer this question, you have to be medayik a little bit in the lashon over here, right? The Gemara is how the yodadim abra, how the lo yodadim abra. Why doesn't it say that everybody knew, right? Benzion went ahead as masakin, right? That's what we have nowadays. Nowadays, we all know which years are going to be a leap year. We know very well. You can look at the calendar. I can tell you which of the coming years is going to be a leap year way before other Shvat comes, other comes. I know already. So I think that's meduyuk over here. And that's why he also says the word tinyan, right? Rabbi Yehuda says tinyan. Other Rishon Kosev Stam, other Sheni Kosev tinyan. Why doesn't it say other? You could write other Sheni, right? Tinyan is a lashon Aramaic. It's it's like an unofficial language. Official language is Hebrew. That's what people speak. But people who know a different language better, even if they're living in Israel, which the language is Hebrew, they'll say it privately in Aramaic. So that's what we're talking about over here. We're talking about where the Beis Din didn't declare publicly an Uber year, but they decided privately on an Uber year. So that's what Rabbi Yehuda says. They decided privately, and you had private information, insider information. You're trading the stock market with insider information. So you knew. So that's what Rabbi Yehuda is not saying. Rabbi Yehuda is not saying the main other is other rishon. He's just saying since you have knowledge, it's going to be an Uber year. So therefore, you should write privately in your private shtaros, in your private nedarim. You meant to say, right? Other rishon is considered the main other. Right, because Beis Din hasn't made an Uber year yet. You can't do it publicly, and it's very possible they're going to only declare an Uber year during Adar. Everyone agrees if they declare it during Adar, right? So the main Adar is what? The main Adar is really the first Adar, right? Because they didn't even make the second Adar. We're talking the extra Adar. The extra Adar was added, right? If they added Adar, if Adar already started and they added in the middle of Adar, definitely the second one is the added one. The Gemara and Megillah is only talking about where they made an Uber year public beforehand. Here we're talking about a third case where they made it private knowledge that's going to be over a year, but they didn't publicly announce it. So that's all Rabbi Yehuda is saying. Rabbi Yehuda is saying that other Rishon consider the main Adar in terms of your Nedarim and Shtaros, because these are things to depend on your personal language. A Shtar is between two different people. A Neder is your personal, prohibition on yourself. So you can colloquially talk in the way you normally talk. So therefore, you'd refer to other Sheni, other Tinyan. Really, if you're going to write it publicly, something that is for the masses, and you write it in Hebrew, you really, even Rabbi Yehuda would agree that you would call other Sheni if you knew about it, right? And if everybody knew about it, or you knew about it, and you're doing something, a public declaration, not just a neder or a shtar, then you would have to write the main other would be other Sheni, because that's always what it is. Main other is other Sheni. It's only here when it's private information, where they haven't made an over year, then the regular other is considered other Rishon, and you can refer to it, other Tinyan, as the second one. So like I said over here, the difference between a public Ibra year and a private Ibra year, it's a little difficult to understand this distinction, but I think it makes a lot of sense. I hope you enjoyed today's share. See you on the next one.